Ooh, greetings. Thank you for joining me today on this reading. I do not expect for the visuals to be so blown up in this video here, but this is my first time doing it. It is called Makeshift Tarot for a reason, because I am truly makeshifting all this, okay? With that being said, this reading is going to be about how you see your person versus how they see you. Okay, this is going to be reading number 1. In the back, I have her to the side like that because that deck kept falling. So I just put it to the side. That's going to be reading number 2 and reading number 3. So, take a good look. If this deck resonates with you, this is going to be reading number 1. Okay. If this deck resonates with you, this is going to be reading number 2. And I'm going to put the stamps below, the time stamps. If this deck resonates for you, this is going to be reading number 3. Okay, remember, this is going to be about how you see your person versus how they see you. Now, I've already pre-shuffled, okay? And I'm only going to be reading from one card that's going to represent you and another card that's going to represent your person, okay? So the first card is going to represent you and how you feel about your person. And the second card is going to be representing how your person sees you. Now, this is the Emperor. Take a good look at the Emperor because I apologize for the glare in the camera there. This is how you see your person is the Emperor, okay? And so the Aries energy is within this card here, the Emperor, okay? However, me being an astrologer, I've come to see over the years that where you might think one sign is being represented, it could be the opposite sign actually that is being represented. So the opposite of Aries is Libra. Okay, so your person can have some Aries in their chart, or they can have some Libra in their chart somewhere that you're not aware of, because, you know, we do have more than one sign in our chart. It does depend on how we feeling and what's going on in our life that determines which energies we're using, either consciously or unconsciously. Okay, so how you see your person is, you see your person as stable, okay? Because the Emperor is stable, and the Emperor likes to be in control. So you can see your person as somebody that likes to be in control. You can also see or perceive your person as somebody that's strong, authoritative, and dependable. And y'all gotta forgive me because I'm eating some Jelly Bellies. I'm sorry. That is so random. Your person might like Jelly Bellies. You might see them as somebody who likes candies and sweets. And Jelly Bellies might be something that your person likes. You probably feel they need to stop eating that candy they eat. You can see your person as somebody who takes the lead and somebody that values order and discipline. You see that Emperor? See how he's sitting up here? Looking all disciplined? Looking like he like to run shit? Your person is somebody who is protective, And you might see them as somebody who pretty much takes charge of everything in their life, even in their relationship with you. Okay? Whatever that relationship may be. I can't really tell from these two cards. I probably have to go deeper. Something might come to me though as I'm reading these cards. You can see your person as somebody who, for the most part, follows the rules. You can see them as strategic. And, you know, as someone who is powerful. Someone who is powerful. They probably hold the position of power in some kind of way, either at work, or they're very powerful in their family, or they're just a very powerful person, period. That's how you see them. Like I said, I don't know the dynamic of the relationship, but depending on the dynamic, you could also see them as somebody who's emotionally reserved and rigid when it comes to emotions. Okay? Now, let's talk about how your person sees you, being represented by the Three of Wands here. You see that person's back is to us. We can't even see that person's face. They're holding on to one of the wands, and they have two wands stuck down on the ground behind them. And what just came to me is that this person, or your person, the person that, you could be, excuse me, okay, I'm going back, I'm getting reversed here. Okay, we talked about how you see your person. Now, this is how your person sees you. They see you as their protector. They see you as somebody who has their back. Okay, that just came to me. They also see you as someone with vision, vision and foresight. Someone who's forward thinking, looking into the future. You see how that person is looking out into the future, or just looking out? Usually when someone's looking out somewhere and you kind of can't see their face, they're usually not focused on what's going on in the moment. They're usually focused on the possibilities that the future hold. Okay? Your person sees you as someone who is always thinking about the possibilities. Someone who's looking ahead and planning into the future. And like I said, exploring possibilities. They see you as somebody who is confident, independent, and, willing to take a risk. This is the reason why they see you as somebody who's always looking into the future, because they also see you as a risk taker. Someone who's willing to risk certain things to gain something else, to gain something new. They also could see you as someone who's waiting on something. See how that person is just standing there waiting. In this image, this person is looking out over like a ocean, like a sea, like a port. There's boats in the background. So they see you as somebody who's waiting on something. When we go to the port, we're waiting for something to ship in. So they can see you as someone who's waiting for something. They could be seeing you as someone who's perhaps waiting to take action on them, right? In some kind of way. Waiting for certain circumstances to align and come into play in some kind of way before you take action on them. They could see you as that kind of person. They see you as somebody who's anticipating. That's how they perceive you. Anticipating something bigger, you know, because you're always looking into the future. That's how they see you. Planning. They admire you. Yes, they do. You see how the person is admiring what they're looking at in this card here? I mean, we're not going to just stand there for a long time and rest our hand upon our wand like this because we're looking at something that we don't admire, right? So this person sees you as something to admire, something to, ponder. This is how they see you, as someone who, is someone to be admired. That's how they see you. They admire your, all your achievements. They admire, your sense of adventure. They admire, your personal achievements that you've made for yourself. They recognize that you're not someone who stays stagnant, for long periods of time. You contemplate your plans. And, if you are stagnant or standing still like you are in this photo here, how they see you in this card, is because you're contemplating making moves. So you're always evolving. You're always thinking beyond the present moment. That's how they see you. Okay? So you who came to this reading sees your person in a positive way, and your person sees you in a positive way as well. Both of these cards represent fire energy. So, fire does get along. Fire is compatible with fire. Okay? And fire and air is compatible. But these two cards represent fire energy, which can be Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo signs. And it doesn't necessarily mean that your person has those signs as a sun sign. It could be their moon, it could be their rising, it could be their Mars, it could be their Venus. It could be some kind of aspect they have in their chart where Mars is aspecting something, giving them a fiery energy, or giving you a fiery energy as well. Okay? So with that being said, that is how you see your person as the Emperor. Somebody who's protective, someone who is stable, someone who is, values structure and stability, and who's authoritative in charge of their life, and they take the lead. They see you as someone with vision, someone who's forward thinking, someone who's always looking ahead and planning, and someone who's always waiting for something to happen, that, gives you, that puts you in the mind of, okay, it's time to take action now. That's how they see you, as someone who's waiting for an opportunity to take action on whatever it is they've been contemplating. And they see you as someone to admire. So with that being said, that's it for your reading. And we're going to move on to those of you who chose this deck here, number 2. Okay? If you chose this one, this reading is for you. So how you see your person is the Queen of Cups reversed. That's the card I pulled for you. And your person sees you as the 3 of Cups reversed. Very interesting. So when we're dealing with Cups energy, the signs involved with the Cups energy would be the Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio signs. And these signs don't have to necessarily be your person's sun sign or be your sun sign. Like I said in the previous reading, it can represent your moon sign, your Mars, your Venus. Whatever the case may be, it could be your moon aspecting something in your chart. Or you can have many aspects to your moon. You and your person. Okay? But whatever the case may be, these cards are talking about watery energy, which is associated with feelings and emotions, intuition, psychic capabilities. But in these cards here, they're both reversed. So what this tells me is that you and your person are probably not on good terms right now. You've probably taken a step back from each other, or one of you has taken a step back from the other, leaving the other with no choice but to take a step back as well. And there's probably been a lot of crying going on in this situation here, this relationship. Probably been a lot of paranoia going on in this relationship. Misunderstandings. So let's talk about how you see your person, which is the Queen of Cups reverse. Look at the Queen of Cups when she's upright. Okay. She's on her throne and she's on an ocean. You can see some shells down there in the photo there. She's got her cup in her hand, ready to offer it to someone. Perhaps you. And this could be representing the past. You know, how your person felt about you. That you were someone who was emotionally generous and giving, supportive. But something happened because they now see you as the Queen of Cups reverse. This is why I said you and your person are going through something right now. So how you see your person, and the energies could be flipped, they could be reversed. I forgot to say that in the beginning. This could be actually, this is how it's intended for you to see your person as this card, and for your person to see you as this card. But it could actually be you seeing them as this card and them seeing you as this card. So you have to just listen to see which one is really you. But the intention is for this card to be how you see your person, which is the Queen of Cups reverse. What this tells me is that you see your person as emotionally imbalanced and difficult to read. Okay? Whenever a card, any card is in reverse, it usually symbolizes imbalance. Okay? But whenever you're dealing with Cups energy, which deals with intuition, psychic abilities, and so forth, when that energy is upside down, when that energy is reversed, it can make the person difficult to read, difficult to understand. This is how you see your person, excuse me. Your person may come across as somebody who's overly sensitive, moody, and withdrawn. And, you know, a lot of people who deal with cancers, they say this about cancers on the negative side, that they're moody, overly sensitive. Pisces too. Now the Scorpio, they just won't fool with you at all, period. If this is how they're feeling, you'll know that they're done with you and don't want nothing to do with you. They're not that hard to read. If you're dealing with reality. Now, if you're delusional, they can be hard to read. But if you're not delusional, with a Scorpio, pretty much what you see is what you get. So, unless they have some Pisces or Cancer going on in their chart, you're going to be dealing with someone who is moody and sensitive and withdrawn. So you also can see your person as somebody who struggles with their emotions. They either repress them too much, or they let their emotions overwhelm them. And when that happens, their emotions can overwhelm you too. This is how you see them. This card can also indicate the Queen of Cups in reverse. Someone who is manipulative, okay? Emotionally unavailable and manipulative, either intentionally or unintentionally, okay? You might feel like they're inconsistent. You know, any card that's in reverse is going to be representing an inconsistency. And so you see your person as inconsistent. And you don't trust when they express their feelings because they're inconsistent with their feelings. It makes it hard for you to fully trust where they're coming from. This is how you see your person. You can also see them as someone who has deep emotions, but they lack the ability to handle them in a healthy way. But at one point, they did handle them in a healthy way. But something happened, because that's what made this card go in reverse. So you know that they have it in them to be emotionally healthy and to communicate their emotions. But you haven't seen this in a while. This is how you see them right now. You see them as unpredictable in their behavior. You see them as difficult to read. They go backwards and forwards with, you know, showing you that side of them that they once showed you when you first knew them. They go backwards and forwards with that energy. Emotionally giving, emotionally withdrawn, emotionally supportive, emotionally unpredictable. That is how you see your person. If your person has always been the Queen of Cups in reverse, you see them as somebody who has potential for emotional growth. But at this time, you just see your person as emotionally immature. Okay? So that's how you see your person. Now let's talk about how your person sees you, which is represented by the Three of Cups reverse. Okay? When this card is upright like this, the three people or the three women in this card here are having a good time. They're putting their cups up in the air. They're about to say cheers. You know, they're looking cute. They're all dressed in their own style and got their own little flavor going on. And, you know, there's some kind of community in the background there. You know, this card is talking about good times, talking about having a party. It's talking about celebrating. It's talking about people being able to be themselves and to share themselves with others, whether it be through their talents, whether it be through their love, whether it be through emotion, whether it be through creativity. That's what this card is about. This is a very good card. I love this card. However, that card is in reverse, okay? So how your person sees you, this is what it's telling me. As they see you as someone who is distant from the social connections that you and them used to have. They see you as withdrawn when it comes to opportunities for experiences, social experiences, community experiences. You see them as someone who is isolating themselves. That they're not as open to celebrating friendship and community as they once were. this card in reverse, this Three of Cups card in reverse also could talk about tension in a relationship. You know, where there was once a good time, there's no longer a good time. Where there was once the feeling of being able to be oneself, there's no longer that feeling. So your person can see you as someone who they can't no longer be themselves with. They see you as somebody who is a drama queen. It's always creating conflict and misunderstandings. That's how they see you. And they can also see you as someone who is keeping things private from them and not fully letting them or anybody else into your world. That's how your person sees you. And in some cases, the Three of Cups reverse can also indicate that they see you as someone who has moved away or moved on from, a relationship that was once really close, like a relationship that was really tightly bonded. It could have, the situation between you two could have been possibly due to an emotional disconnection that was brought on by distrust in some kind of way. That's how your person sees you. Something happened between y'all. It created a distrust, and you no longer want to be bothered. And you've isolated yourself from the activities that you once were involved with this person. You've isolated yourself away from the community that you were once involved with. So with that being said, I'm going to move on to the third reading. Okay? If you like this so far, hit the like button. If it resonated for you, hit the like button. For those of you that resonated with this particular deck, okay, this reading is for you. How you see your person is the Two of Wands. And how your person sees you is the Moon. Two of Wands. That's how you see your person. This almost looks similar to the Three of Wands, but it's the Two of Wands. How you see your person. I'm sorry. I just had to eat some Jelly Bellies. So, I'm sorry. How you see your person? You see your person as someone who is planning to move forward. Someone who is forward progressing. You see your person as somebody who you have watched them go from being at one place in life to being in another place in life that took them a step further in life. You see your person as someone who realizes their long-term goals. Someone who, once they realize their long-term goals, they start making plans to make those goals come true. You see your person as somebody who is always making decisions. And the reason why they make these decisions is because they're always progressing forward. And before they can make their next step, they have to make a decision. You can also feel as though, or you can see them as someone who's making a decision about you. How do they plan to incorporate you into their life? How do they plan to incorporate you into their goals? Do they want you as long-term in their life? Do they want you as short-term in their life? Do they even want you in their life at all, period? That's how you could see them. You can see them as planning a future with you or not planning a future with you, because the Two of Wands is a futuristic card. And being that this reading is in the context of how you see your person versus how they see you. Yeah, you see them as someone who hasn't quite made up their mind about you yet. And once we get to talking about how they see you, you're probably going to understand why they haven't quite made up their mind yet. Okay, so let's get into how your person sees you. We just talked about how you see your person. Let's talk about how your person sees you now. So your person sees you as the moon. Look at that. It's a lot going on in this card. A lot going on. Okay? We can spend a lot of time on this card and go deep into this card and get into the depth of this card. But it's kind of like a never-ending situation if we start really breaking this card down and getting deep down into everything that is going on in this card. So this person sees you as someone who has a lot of depth to you. And because of that depth, they see you as mysterious and difficult and elusive. And you're just not somebody that's easy to understand. That's how they see you. And that's probably why you see them as not being able to make up their mind about you. As I pour more Jelly Bellies into my hand to eat some more. They see you as somebody who, because due to your depth, the depth of you, all the stuff you got going on, all the mystery surrounding you, they see you as somebody that is not easily noticeable. The only thing that really sticks out about you is the mystery. So they see you as somebody that they're uncertain about. They see you as somebody that they don't know where they stand with. They don't know what to truly think and feel about you. And this is why they're in decision mode. They see you as intuitive, emotional, unpredictable, and somebody whose emotions are hidden and they see you as somebody who has some illusions too. And that they see you as somebody who has a lot going on beneath the surface that they just can't put their hand on, their finger on. It could be a sense that you are keeping secrets from them intentionally or unintentionally, or that there is more to you than meets the eye. Because you see how this woman has her back to us? You know, they see you as sexy too. They see sexy and beautiful. You see how we can see the person's figure through this skirt here? One thing for sure about you they know is that you are attractive. I mean, that you see about them, they see about you. Yeah, you are attractive. They see you as attractive. And even though there's a woman in this card here, you don't necessarily have to be a woman. You could be a man. Because, you know, the sexy energy belongs to a woman. So when a man is in touch with his feminine energy, it makes him more sexier. You know, just a man who's just totally in his masculine is not sexy at all. You know, a man who knows how to cook and clean and take care of children and knows how to handle business on the home front is very sexy. So a man who's in touch with his feminine side, as I said, is very sexy. So your person sees you as very sexy and alluring. But it's just something about you they can't seem to get to. They can't seem to touch. You're hiding something. Is how they see you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they feel like your emotions are very hidden beneath the surface. You could be a Scorpio, or the opposite of Scorpio, Taurus. You could be a Taurus, or you can have those signs very strong in your chart. But overall, your person sees you as complex, intriguing, and confusing. Someone they can't quite figure out completely. So this concludes this reading. And if you liked it, I appreciate it if you leave a comment below. Let me know if it resonates for you. Hit the like button. Let me know if there's any kind of topic you want me to touch on when it comes to these readings. I will be more than happy to produce a reading that most of you want to hear about. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the reading. I'm going to close out. Take care and enjoy the rest of your time.